Welcome back to the Gloves Are Offside, where we talk football and we talk boxing. This is the review show, so we're just going to go through the Premier League fixtures. We'll start Brentford, Burnley. Another good win for Brentford, man. They're picking up a bit of good form.
Yeah, man. Look, as we said a lot of times on this pod, they've surprised me for most of this season. I really thought they'd be kind of where Burnley are now. Burnley, I think they're going to be in a dogfight all season. I think the three promoted teams are going to struggle. But yeah, kind of just business as usual for Brentford at
Yeah,
the moment.
yeah, they're going on along nicely. We've actually got a midweek at home, so I think we'll get a victory for that one. But
Mm,
yeah, Burnley, I've seen them play well a few times, and they're always in games. Like this was, I think it was 0-0 going into the last 10, and then they just sort of
yeah,
collapsed and lost at 3-1. But it sort of reminded me, a few teams that have come up have done that. I remember Luton kept losing games in the last minute. It
yeah,
just doesn't bode well for them. But
mm,
Leeds did the same as well. I mean, we can talk
yeah,
about that game at the same time because they were both 3 o'clock
yeah.
kickers, 3-2 Man City. So Leeds and Burnley slipped into the relegation zone now, and yeah, they just keep losing games. I think Burnley are
Mm,
at Palace this midweek, and so at home to Palace, and Leeds have got. Sorry, I should have this information up. Leeds have got Chelsea at home, so the games aren't getting any easier for them.
mm. I think Leeds have got to rely on their home form massively, and I think look, I really like Ellen Road. I think they've got a really good fan base, and I think they've got to use that to their advantage. But you touched on Luton. I think Luton were a better side than both of these. Although, as you said, they were kind of conceding last minute. I just think the fairy tale of Luton coming up, just little things like that to change one of the stands because it wasn't fit for Premier League, like all that stuff that kind of brings everyone together. I just think Leeds and Burnley have become a little bit of a yo-yo club, up, down, up, down.
Definitely.
Which look, you need some consistency. But I think we'll be seeing the Leeds manager go in the next couple of months. I think, although look, they put up a good fight against City. Um, but to touch on City, I think when you play them, you either shut up shop and just wait for them to eventually score, or you try and stick it on them. Brentford tried that and they got absolutely thumped up by him. So it's a difficult one, isn't it?
I think
But
what I
yeah.
will say about City this season is the fear factor seems to have gone. Like
Mm,
back in the day, the City teams that were winning the 5 leagues in 6 years or the six in 7, whatever it was,
yeah.
they go 2-0 up against you and they're turning the screw. They're going 4, 5, 6, and it could be
Mm,
anything. But nowadays, teams still feel like they've got a chance. So where City is sort of in transition. I mean, they're still only 5 points off us, so they're definitely banging the title race. But that fear factor, like certain teams in the past that you go up against Man United or the old Arsenal teams and this City team, or the previous City team, teams will sort of get
mm.
beaten in the tunnel. Whereas now I think giving away a 2-0 lead, fair enough. They dug themselves out of a hole in the last minute, but it's not Pep like. That's his teams don't do that, and
Yeah, no,
they're
100%.
starting they're starting to do things like that. So yeah, it's
Mm.
just
And I think as well, with Pep's contract coming to an end soon, has he got another year
he's got
left
one
after
more
this
year
one,
after
or
this
is it?
year.
Yeah, and I think before, look, they've given him 5, 6 year contracts, so he's kind of settled there. So maybe there's a bit of that creeping in. Is he going to stay for another couple of years? But as you said, look, the fear factor certainly isn't there, and teams are starting to kind of open up a little bit more and trying to really go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah. But yeah, sad times at the minute for Burnley, Leeds, Sunderland. Big win, man. Home to Bournemouth, 2-0 down.
Massive.
Another team that have come back from two down and get the job done. They just keep on rolling on as well.
Yeah, and look, we've seen quite a few clubs do it where they get a lot of players in the summer and they spent a lot as well. And it could go either way. It can either, get too many players in at once, they don't gel from a lot of different countries, a lot of cliques forming and stuff like that. But they've recruited really well. I have to admit, I didn't think Xhaka would be as good as he was, and I was surprised that they named him captain. Like, I kind of looked at his age and I just thought, is he going to be playing every game? Is he going to want it? Is he just looking for a payday? But no, fair play, man. Well, saying that, I think they're going to struggle when AFCON comes. I think they're going to lose quite a few players as well. So it'll be interesting in Jan to see how they
They've
get
got a
on.
lot of players gone, but what I said, like we said, because the turnover in players was so high, so many new players coming. For the manager to get them to gel and settle so quickly, and
Mm,
you got to take your hat off to him. He's doing a really good job down there, Regis Labrie, and yeah, they keep rolling on. Um, Jack has been brilliant. Where can you see realistically? Obviously, we're saying that when Africa comes, the Afcon comes, and they lose a lot of their players. But where can you see them realistically finishing? Because I'm thinking in my head, another 10 or so points and they're safe, and then they can just play with the shackles off. There's no real pressure on them. Their target going into the season would have been safety, and to get that sort of nailed on, done it in the bag so early, they can just go out and play with freedom.
Yeah, 100%.
And they
Look,
double
they wouldn't
European
have taken.
places.
Yeah, potentially. I think it's difficult in it to, I'm not trying to say that they haven't got a squad without AFCON, but they've got a lot of African players and good African players as well. I think look, they would have taken nothing less than finishing 17th and scraping by the season. But I think definitely top 10, without a shadow of a doubt. The way they're playing, and as you said, they've got that freedom. Then, another few wins, and they're going to be at the safety point. But yeah, I reckon easily top 10, maybe top 8. It's hard, isn't it? Because look, as you know, you get a couple of losses and you're back down there, but you get a couple of wins and you're back on top again. So yeah,
Definitely.
top 10 definitely.
Bournemouth, now their winless run continues. 2-0 up as
Mm,
well. It's going to not sour from because they've had such a good start, so they've still got a good position in the league. And I think they've had a few injuries. Semenyo was back in the team, but he didn't look fit to me. Kluivert's out in a minute as well, so they're struggling a little bit. But I think they'll be all right because their managers got a really good manager and they've got a decent squad. But yeah, just hit a bit of a bad one. They need to get a win out from somewhere to throw away 2-goal leads. They don't.
I thought they were unlucky though. They hit the crossbar at the end, and I think they had one ruled offside or something. I can't remember what it was. Or VAR went to it, but yeah, look, it was just a really good Premier League game. I think a draw would have been a fair result. But Sunderland got the luck in the end, but they'll be all right. Look, who's their next game in midweek?
Bournemouth's
Do you
next
know?
game they are playing Everton at home, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're quite to predict, isn't it? You never know. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean Everton got stuffed 4-1. A lot of goals about this weekend
Mm.
actually. 4-1 at home, following up their really good win at Old Trafford to go and get beat 4-1 by Newcastle, who haven't been good away from home at all this season, and then it sort of turned them over at Hill Dickinson. It's a bad one for Everton, but Newcastle looking like they're getting a bit of form together, and I expect them to climb the league now. Really,
Yeah, I mean, look, the whole Isak thing at the beginning of the season really didn't help. It was only a couple of weeks ago I was seeing a few Newcastle fans phoning in on TalkSport and online saying that they wanted Eddie Howe out and he kind of done his time. But who else is out there for him? And as you look, football fans are fickle at the best of times. You get a couple of wins and it's all hunky dory again, isn't it?
absolutely.
They'll be fine.
He's done such a good job with them, and to be fair, I know they've had the ownership and they've spent a bit of money, but they haven't gone crazy with the money. So it's not like he's been getting like
Mm.
£100 million signings here and there. I think he's built a really strong squad. The Isak stuff clearly affected them. I think Rotterdam's settled down really well, but some of the other signings, Wissa came in injured. I think he's coming back now. So, well, they're saying is he going to Africa as well? He might be. It would be just.
Actually, yeah, probably, yeah. As soon as he gets fit, he goes
Not
off.
sure if
Yeah.
they qualify, but yeah, so that'd be a bit annoying for him. But yeah, that signing was a bit of a weird one, but yeah, they're looking good now. And I said I expect them to climb the league. Who's not climbing the league? Tottenham Hotspur, another defeat. Been saying it all season. They're not good. They're just not good. They finished 17th in the league last season, and there's a
Nah.
reason for it. A lot of their players, they're not good enough.
I was speaking to a Spurs fan at work today, actually, and the first thing he said to me was, "Look, football's often won in the midfield, won or lost in the midfield. Their midfield are just spineless at the minute. This whole, goalkeepers trying to come out and dictate the pitch outside their box, it's just nonsense, isn't it? But you find yourself 2-0 down in 6 minutes. I just don't think they got the quality. I mean, look, they got kudos from us, and look, he's
What
a
a good goal.
fantastic player. Scored a good goal as well, but when the chips are down, look, I've said it before, is he the type of player that you want when the chips are down, and is he going to get the game by the scruff of the neck? I didn't see that for us last season. I don't know. Look, I know they've got injuries as well. They have got a lot of
They've got
injuries,
injuries.
but I just they haven't impressed me at all this season.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the signs were there when they got beat at home by Chelsea, and I just thought they ain't really got
I mean,
anything about them,
Chelsea
have they?
absolutely hammered them. I
Yeah.
think they only won it by the odd goal, but they hammered them. Arsenal, we absolutely hammered. But I said it. I've seen it. They played really well against City, but other than that, I've just not seen them deserve to win a game, be the better team.
Mm.
Obviously, I said last week, I do think Thomas Frank's a good manager, and he's going to need time to sort it out because there's just a lot of mid-table sort of players in there.
Mm.
Richarlison's and Solanke's. I know Solanke's injured, but just when you go through their squad, there's just not enough quality there. And like I said, they finished 17th last season. They'll say, "Oh, we took our after ball because we're going for the Europa League," but that's just not good enough, man. That's one place above the relegation zone, and it's going to be slow progress for them, if progress at all. So yeah, I know a lot of their fans on Twitter. I'm seeing are saying they want to get rid of Frank already. I
Yeah.
don't know where they turn next. They keep churning out managers, and you know the thing is, well, these Tottenham fans as well. They always bang on about how good Romero is. I think he's whatless. He's brainless, the geezer.
Mate.
He makes the rashest decisions all the
Yeah,
time, jumping in, lunging into challenges. I just don't see it with him. I know he played for Argentina, won the World Cup, but I've never seen it with him. And they go on, they think he's so good. Van der Ven, I can see the talent there, but Romero's never impressed me, not once. I've never looked at him for, yeah, no, he's got it. And they bang on like he's something special.
he's one of them players where if he was English and he wasn't, South American, he'd be booed off the pitch. You know what I mean? It's because they like you get it with a lot of Brazilian players as well. I can't see
I
it.
think they've tricked themselves into thinking like he's really tenacious and he gets stuff, but he doesn't. He makes stupid decisions, and he's just rash for the sake of being rash. He loses his head. So yeah, that one I've never really understood. But they lose again. There,
Long may it
long
continue.
may it continue. Mate. I'm happy to see them lose every single week. That's the Saturday games. And on Sunday, United got a win against Palace. It looked like it was going to be another bad day at the office for them, but they turned it around. To be fair. But they're just hit and miss, aren't they? Like some weeks, like I say that they look like they're getting it together, and they look half decent, and then they're going to lose a game that you don't expect them. But positionally in the league, they're not in a bad position. They're doing all right.
I was just going to say they're doing all right. That he's set on playing this way more often than not. It hasn't worked. Yeah, look, to be fair, look, Zertsky, I don't really rate him. I haven't rated him since he joined them, but I actually thought watching it, he kind of took the chance. I thought he took too many touches, but it was actually a really good
Yeah, the
finish.
finish was good. The finish was good.
Yeah, Mason Mount, free kick. Yeah, they're very hit and miss, but as you said, look, the table don't lie, and they're actually doing
Yeah,
all right in
it's
it.
a good
So.
it's a good finish for him. I've seen a lot of speculation about maybe Glasner considering his position at Palace. Has he taken them as far as he can? A club like Palace, obviously, we're both from South London. I
Yeah,
mean, you're a West Ham fan, so maybe you don't like them
yeah.
so much. I've got family ties with Palace. I'm obviously not a Palace fan, but I've always had a bit of a soft spot for them. But they're not a massive club. He's won a trophy, two trophies if you count the Community Shield, taking them into Europe. How much further can he take them?
Well, I think this is as good as it gets for Palace, and that's no disrespect. I'm indifferent about Palace. Palace, they're not really a rival to us. Yeah, look, they're a London rival, but we don't have any kind of issues with them. I don't really know many Palace fans either. I mean, look, if you're Glasgow, you've had an absolutely wonderful season last season, winning at Wembley against City. They're in the Conference League at the minute. As you said, is there a kind of a 5-year plan in place? I'm not sure. Um, I know that there's talk of them kind of extending Selhurst Park, trying to build up a little bit, but unfortunately, the gap between the Elite Six and clubs like Palace is only going to get bigger. Um,
Yeah, I think the remit for him this season should really be try and go all out to try and win that Conference League, which is possible.
yeah, hundred
They're
percent.
not actually doing that great in Europe this season, but I'm sure they'll get through the group stage, so the league stage. But if they can try and go and win that, and he leaves them having won an FA Cup, a Community Shield, a European trophy, and obviously he won the Europa League with
I was just going to say
Frankfurt, didn't he?
Frankfurt.
So
Yeah, look, he's got
if he
experience in
can get
Europe,
all
so
that on his
yeah,
CV, and then I think a big clubs could be eyeing him up. So I think that's what he should be going for. Palace, they're always going to be safe, aren't they? Palace, they've got too good a squad. Doubt they. I don't think. I mean, there's a lot of the big clubs are not having great seasons, but I'm not sure they can get in the European places in the league.
yeah.
If they can finish mid table again, win the Conference League and get into the Europa next season, I think he's put himself prime position for if any of the sort of bigger jobs.
And look, Palace have got a good youth setup as well. They've always got every couple of years players coming through. So look, I don't really care about Palace to be honest, but look, they're doing all right. So I haven't got anything good or bad to say about
Fair
it, to be
play for
honest.
him. Villa Wolves, bit of a derby up there. Wolves again, no points, no goals, nothing about them.
They're done. They're done, mate. They're
Rob Edwards has come in. We've spoken about it before, so we don't need to go over the mad decision making from him. But he's come in, he's changed nothing, and they're just sinking without a trace. I'm questioning whether they're going to break the derby record now.
Yeah, I asked you that
Yeah.
last week, and I kind of thought, oh, was it a silly question? But looking at him,
Week by week as it goes on, if
name me a player that can get him out of trouble or at least put up a bit of fight, scoring some goals, mate. They haven't got looking through their squad. They've
yeah,
got and I've got no beef with Wolves whatsoever, but looking at it,
mate, they've sold all their best players and they
they're
haven't
done.
replaced them. And I'll tell you what, Newcastle must be happy that they because they went all out to try and get that Strand Larsen, didn't they, from
Yeah,
Wolves in the
yeah,
summer,
yeah.
ended up with Nick Wattermore, who's done really well. So they must be thanking their lucky stars that they've done that. Because Strandler, I mean, he's got nothing around him, but he doesn't look like he's good enough to sort of take the ball by the horns and keep him up either. I don't know where they turned. They're going to need investment in January. it may be already too late by then, and I don't think they're going to get it. They used to have a really good squad, like all the Portuguese players and stuff, and they've just not replaced them. The squad's unrecognisable. I look at it and there's just no quality there at all.
Yeah, look, you could probably tell by the atmosphere at games. I think majority of fans have accepted they're probably going to go down,
Yeah,
and they've just got to rebuild
yeah,
in the
exactly. I
summer,
think I
try
think
and come back
I
up.
think that's all they can do really, and try and get a team
Yeah,
that's capable of um, getting promotion back. And I'm sure Rob Edwards must have been promised that he gets next season. Otherwise, it
yeah, mate,
must.
it's suicide. I don't know what he expected coming in. He must have just thought, right, let's rebuild in the summer. Look, any Wolves fans, if you're watching, let us know what's going
Yeah,
on.
yeah, shed some light on the situation because it's crazy. Villa on the other hand, mate, after their terrible start, fourth in the league now, joint with Chelsea, only 6 points off top. Emery's turned them around, man.
Yeah, look, and we speak about United a lot playing one way. It's working for Emery. I've always rated him. Fantastic manager. And they've got good players as well. When Onana is fit, he makes them tick. I really like him. He's so good in that midfield. Great goal as well. I can't remember his name who scored, but great finish.
Come on.
Yeah, they're doing all right as well.
Yeah, yeah, no, they're good, man. They're picking up a bit of another team that's just rolling week in week out, racking up the points, and they snuck up there. You don't even realise how
Yeah,
close they are. If you count,
that's what I'm saying. Look, if you get a couple of wins, mate, you're
because
up
there's
there.
a lot
That's
of
what I'm
teams
saying.
that aren't picking
Yeah,
up points. So you get a few and you're up there. And
yeah.
if you count in Chelsea in a title race, I'm not saying Villa are gonna be in it, but just positioning and points wise, they're in
They're
there
in
as
a
well.
European
They're
conversation
in
again,
there as well.
100%.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, good team, and again, in the Europa League, they could go for that as well. Yeah, things are looking rosy for them. Forest Brighton, good 2-0 win for Brighton, man. They're going about their business. I expected Forest to do something there. Obviously, they went to Anfield and won 3-0, and then they won in Europe. I know it's tough to play Thursday, Sunday.
Mm.
I was a bit disappointed with them really being at home. I know Brighton's a good team, but you want to put up a bit more of a fight than that. But I suppose, yeah, two good wins following up with this. It's not great.
Yeah, I mean, I was a bit disappointed, as you said, especially going to Anfield last week and doing what they did. But look, nothing taken away from Brighton. Again, they're a club kind of top eight, outside of the top eight kind of
Sort of
conversation.
around that
Again,
patch, similar to Palace, aren't they? Really?
yeah, just going about their business, picking up some wins. Yeah, look, again, just going about it,
Yeah,
and they, yeah.
good for them. Then your boys, West Ham, 2-0 home defeat to Liverpool. Liverpool first win in God knows how long.
Mm.
Yeah, what do you think? Obviously, you were there, so
Yeah, I'm just going to take the floor just for a minute, Charlie. So the West Ham family lost probably our biggest legend. I'm just going to read out some accolades of Billy Bonds, West Ham's record appearance holder with 799 appearances from 1967 to 1988. Captained us to two FA Cups in 1975 and 1980. Managed 227 games as manager from 1990 to 94, including getting us promoted to the Premier League in 93. Over 1,000 games both as player and manager, four-time Hammer of the Year, awarded an MBE for services to football, and a stand named after him at the London Stadium. Yeah, really upsetting news Sunday morning. I think everyone was kind of in shock. Look, my condolences go out to him and his family. And just to touch on it, I think the word legend is kind of overused a lot in football, but if this is one man that kind of epitomises what West Ham is and what loyalty is in football, it's Billy Bonds. Absolute. Look, I've never obviously watched him growing up, never met the guy, but from what I hear, absolute gentleman. Very quiet man, very family orientated. When he retired, didn't really give any interviews, but yeah, English football have lost an absolute great. So rest in peace. Um, but talking of great captains of West Ham, I don't think Jared Bowen. I've touched on him as being captain before. I don't think he helps the Lucas Paqueta situation. Well, we'll talk about the actual game in a minute. Somebody watching it on the TV, Charlie, what did you make of the whole Paqueta thing? I mean, I just thought it was
yeah,
absolutely bonkers.
it's madness. It's madness. What's he doing? Why is no one trying to calm him down? He's lost his head, and yeah, it's just a weird one, isn't it?
I mean, I'm sitting there. So his first yellow card wasn't for a foul. Liverpool got a free kick, and he's moaning to the ref, and he gets a yellow. Normally, in that situation, you're just like, okay, take the yellow. He then came back, and then came back again, and came back again. And I'm looking at it, and even the bloke next to me said, look, if he's not careful, he's going to get sent off. I'm looking around and I'm saying there's no one
No one's
grabbing him, no
grabbing him,
one coming
taking him,
to him.
telling him to calm
I
down.
mean,
Yeah,
Bowen was there, but he was just kind of standing there. And I don't know if you saw Allison, his Brazilian teammate. He came from his goal line, tried pulling him away, and I'm looking around and I'm thinking, what on earth is going on? But I'm just going to read his tweet out on after the game. It's been translated from Portuguese, but so he's tweeted, "It's ridiculous to have your life and career affected for 2 years without any psychological support from the federation. Perhaps this ridiculous behaviour is just a reflection of everything I've had to endure, and it seems have to continue enduring. I'm sorry if I'm not perfect." I mean, what a petulant child. I mean, not sorry to the fans. I've let myself down. You know, I lost my head. What on earth is he talking about, mate?
yeah. No, he's looking for sort of sympathy and an excuse, and he's lost his head. He's got to be way more professional. He's an experienced player. He's a Brazilian international. You've got to be more. And I understand what you're saying about his teammates as well. Somebody's got to. He's clearly lost it. He's seen red and he's gone mad. But someone's got to take him aside and try and get him away. And like you say, Jared Bryan being captain should have probably been that guy. But yeah, it's excuses, like you say, it's petulance. I'm sure he has gone through a hard time with. Like, I don't know the details of the case. He's got off of it, whatever. But can't blame that, can you?
But this is my point, right? Look, we don't pretend to know the ins and outs, and if he's gone through hell the last 2 years, fine. Surely you'd do everything in your power to stay away from a yellow, not talk yourself into getting booked and making it look
Really?
like the most
Yeah,
suspicious yellow
yeah,
card.
that's it.
And you've seen all the memes come out, and there's a reason for it. It just screams that you just didn't fancy it, or someone's got money. Look, I'm not suggesting that at
That's
all.
why I didn't want to go there just because
You know what I
I
mean?
don't want to suggest it.
I love,
But obviously, that's where your brain goes. It's like two very very needless yellow cards. He's talked himself into the first one, and he's talked himself into the second one. It's
yeah,
like, what is going on?
look, yeah, I don't know. But look, in terms of the game, normally there's no shame in losing to Liverpool at home. I did think they were there for the taking though. Given their kind of recent form, I thought if we would have went for it a bit more, we could have got something. But look, first half they rightly so kind of sat off and kind of soaked up the pressure a little bit, and rightly so. Look, they conceded 4 goals in the week. Had to be us that kind of ended their bad run, and Isak getting his first goal. But that was
Lovely
a great
finish,
finish though.
really
To be
lovely
fair,
finish. Yeah.
great finish. Sloppy at the end from us, but yeah, I'm a bit disappointed. But 2-0 at home against Liverpool, they're the reigning champions. It's not the end
Yeah,
of the
losing
world,
to
is it? You know.
Liverpool's, and as you say, they're the champions, but it's just circumstances. Like obviously they're a bit shaky at the minute. You think you could get a famous win over them, but there was always going to put a stop to the run at some point. They've got good players. They're gonna put some teams to the sword just because they've got enough attacking talent. Yeah, they're still got issues that they're gonna have to resolve. That one win doesn't change things for Liverpool, so they're gonna have to try and put a run together.
And no Salah as well. What's going on
Yeah,
there?
well, yeah, but mate, he's been awful. He's not been good, has he? So
Mm,
he's not been good. You've got to drop him at some point. I mean, yeah, last season he was incredible. He was unreal. Is it because he's got his new contract, or is he just is his legs starting to go because he's getting older? Same with Van Dijk. Both of them
yeah, yeah,
incredible
yeah.
last season. Won the
I've not
league.
been I've not been impressed with Van
Boy,
Dijk
he
either.
looks like
He's not
he's
been good.
turned old overnight. I wouldn't want to suggest that they've got their contract and down tools. I don't think Van Dijk's that sort of player, and Salah's been great. So maybe Father Age caught up with them. Maybe they just played a lot of
Yeah, who
football
knows?
and they need a break. I don't know, but something's not right. I mean, Van Dijk, to be fair, doesn't have the defence around him now either. There's a lot of changes
Mm.
there, and it doesn't seem that the players they've brought in have been good enough. But yeah, I mean, it's a win for them. They put a stop to the run, and even again, because so many other teams have not been great, they're still not that far off.
Yeah.
Not
Again,
to
look,
fight for the title,
a
but
couple of wins and they're back
yeah,
in the
but for
spaces
the
again
Champions League
for Champions
spaces,
League. Yeah.
they're still not far off. So if they can get it together, they could still have a successful season, But we'll see about that one. The big game of the weekend was the last game of the weekend, Chelsea Arsenal. There's a lot of build up to it. I thought, what? Obviously, I'm an Arsenal fan watching it. I thought it was going to be this type of game. I said it in the previous show, in the preview that I did with Alex. I said I think it was going to be like a gritty, tight game. I said I expected us to win because I do expect us to win every game. But I said in the video I wouldn't be surprised if it was a draw. I probably would.
You were talking a lot of smack though before the
Yeah, I
game,
mean,
mate.
yeah.
You were putting stuff on your stories, and I quote, I believe you put in the chat, "Oh, I heard they're handing out points at the
Yeah,
bridge."
but we listen.
Let me ask you this: is it a point gained or two dropped for you?
Because of the circumstance of the red card, it's two dropped. You can't.
Yeah,
You can't. If
I agree.
you got they got a red card in the first half. You got so long to get the win. It's two points dropped. Before the game, a point at Stamford Bridge, the form they're on, you take that all day long, especially
Mm.
the week we've had Tottenham, Bayern Munich, Chelsea. But the circumstances of the red card mean that it's definitely 2 points dropped. I don't think it's a big disaster. They were Chelsea were really up for it, but they crossed the line a few times. I think the referee had a terrible game as well. I know he sent their player off, but that was VAR. He Anthony Taylor, man, this guy. But he was handing out yellow cards for every first foul an Arsenal player made.
Mm.
Yellow, yellow, yellow. Cucurella got a yellow, but he was fouling all game. That geezer, honestly, he does my nutting. All he does is drag people down and kick them. Enzo Fernandez the same. They were playing really on the edge. Obviously, Caicedo overstepped that mark, and it was could have been a bit of a horror challenge because he had that straight leg as well, Marino. But luckily, it didn't do any damage.
Yeah, it was an awful challenge. Like you look at it straight away and you think
But
that's a red. Like he shouldn't be going
this
in like
is
that.
this is what I was saying in the group chat. Chelsea remind me a bit of how Arsenal were a couple of seasons ago, when you're starting to build something. You can see they got some quality players in there. Reece James was unbelievable. Caicedo on his day is really good. Cole Palmer still got back, but they're starting to get the elements of a really good team.
Foundations.
But the
Yeah, yeah.
foundations, exactly. But they're still young, they're still inexperienced, and remember a couple of seasons ago we were getting red cards every other game. They've had so many red
Yeah,
cards. Their discipline needs to be looked at because you're not going to win trophies with a record like that. I think that Merson got them really up for it, but they did boil over a bit too much. Maybe I'm just saying that as an Arsenal
would you
fan.
say the occasion got to him a little bit, especially the
Well,
young
you can
players?
say that,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they got a draw with 10 men. So, and at the point of the red card, they were on top. So maybe they're kicking themselves as well because with 11 men on the pitch, perhaps they could have gone on and beat us. So I don't know, man. I think we take the point. It's going into the 3 games: Tottenham, Bayern Munich, Chelsea. You take 2 wins and a draw. I'm not. It's not a disaster, but I would have liked to have seen us turned the screw once they got the red card. But obviously they scored from a corner just after half time, so it's like that can happen. And then we're chasing the game, and we got ourselves back in it. Also, that last minute, if Timber leaves it, Yokos is right there.
Gyökeres was there.
It
Yeah,
could have been
yeah.
perfect.
Mate, when he crossed it, I thought that was a goal.
Yeah,
Honestly, yeah.
Timber wanted to know he was there, obviously, and he's tried to get it in himself. But that would have been perfect. But it's a point at Stamford Bridge when they're on really good form, and the atmosphere was lively, and they were up for it. So we take it, we move Brentford in the weekend, and Villa away on next weekend. So there's a couple of on form teams. We just need to keep churning out points now, put a little bit of run together, and I still think we're the standout team. I don't know how you feel as a neutral.
Look, I think Arsenal are the best team in the league. I think that the way you've been playing, I think this is with the games coming up now. Look, we've had a laugh and a joke about Arsenal in previous years. This Christmas period will tell us kind of what Arsenal are made of now. And as you said, look, as a neutral, I'm looking at it. I personally think it's 2 points dropped, but if you can't win, don't lose.
Yeah,
I
100%.
think given the nature of the game as well, why wouldn't it be surprised if Chelsea nicked a winner at the end as well? Just it got really end to end, especially the last 10, 15 minutes. Yeah, especially that you got some hard games in form teams coming up. If you can keep doing what you're doing, I don't see why Arsenal can't win it. But City are what 5 behind
5
you?
behind.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't want to say it's Arsenal to lose. I think it's too early for that. But I think, look, Arsenal have been the standout team both in the league and in Europe as well. So
Yeah. No, I
definitely
I
interesting.
agree. I think we've been a standout team. I think I'm always confident about my team, but yeah, it's way too early to be saying it's ours to lose, especially when the gap's only 5 points and it's against a team who've got a manager and players who have been there and done it, and we haven't, and we have
Yeah, yeah,
come
yeah.
close and had glorious failures, and league titles aren't won at this stage of the year anyway. I just want to try and open up a bit of a gap because we get there and then we sort of get pegged back a bit. So
Yeah.
it's a big period coming up. We've just got to start trying to turn out results. But what I will say, we've got some players coming back now. We've had a lot of injuries. Obviously, Madueke's back, Odegaard's back, Martinelli's back, Gyökeres is back now. So
Mm.
Gabriel and Saliba have gone down. Hopefully, Gabriel's probably still out for a little bit. Gabriel Jesus is back as well, but Big Gabby at the back, he's out for a bit. Saliba was a random one that came out last minute. When I didn't see his name in the team, it did make me feel a bit worried. But Mosquera and Gabriel, they played well. Those two, they've really impressed me when we've called on them. Two brand new players to the league. Mosquera especially super young as well, and so they've slipped in and done a good job. But not having Gabriel and Saliba there, I think when Chelsea see that in the team sheet, it probably gives them a bit of a boost. So hopefully Saliba's not out for too long. I'm not actually sure. I haven't seen any updates on him. So fingers crossed he'll be back because we need our best players, man, for this running. Not running, but for the Christmas period.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah. Anything else football wise you wanted to have a chat about?
No, I don't. Apart from our game and Paqueta's madness, I don't think there's anything too kind of crazy this week. So
Cool. We'll move on to
yeah,
boxing, and then there's some fights. We'll start with Ben Whittaker. I think it was what we said it was going to be.
look, they weren't going to put him in with anyone kind of too crazy. Matchroom first game, first match. Yeah, it was what it
It
was.
was
It
what
was
it
a
was.
first
They
round
called
KO.
the postman off the street and said, "Go on, give her a
Yeah,
couple of grand for getting in there."
yeah, look, they got the geezer out of the pub for it. Yeah, I think now we spoke about it last time. We need to see these fights where he's kind of stepping up, and it'd be interesting to see what kind of style he goes for. Whether he keeps his, Nassim Hamed-esque kind of style. Does he take it, not take it more seriously, but does he just go with the
Pure
usual kind of
business. Yeah.
boxing stance? Yeah, pure business. Apart from Liam Cameron, he's not really been tested, is he? And he was victorious in the rematch against him, so it's going to be interesting. What do you think of him as a person? Because he's very Marmite to me. There
Yeah.
are some interviews where I
You know
look at
what?
him and I think okay, but like even after I don't know if I can take to him,
Yeah,
but
I don't
still
know.
part of the game though, isn't it?
He's sometimes I look at him and think, do you know what? I like a bit of bravado in boxing and stuff, but
Yeah,
I think
100%.
if he backs it up, I don't mind it so much. Though that whole Cameron the first fight, I just was like, nah, man, you turned it in. You turned it in the first opportunity you got because you didn't like the pressure that was
Yeah,
coming on you,
yeah,
and then going out with his leg up in the wheelchair and stuff. And I was like, hold on, now you're this flashy geezer doing all this. You can dish it up, but you can't take it back a bit. So it put me off. I think if he backs it up in the ring, I'm all right with bravado. If you're not, then you can't be doing all that business. You can't be coming out with all the dancing and and then putting in bad performances. That fight on the weekend, it was there to showcase him. Matchroom did
it
sign
didn't
him.
prove anything. It was just to say, look, here we go. Look who
But
we've signed.
but
Yeah,
that's what you had to do it. It couldn't have gone any more
yeah,
better for him. If this geezer took him rounds, it wouldn't have been good. And at least he showed he's got power. Because the thing is, the division he's in, honestly, there's killers in there, man. David Benavidez
hard
is there.
hitters, hard hitters.
Even your Boatsies and your anti-yards, I know they're not perfect fighters themselves, but they got a bit of power, Then Callum Smith, and if once he starts moving up in the ranks, he's gonna find it tough if he gets hit as much as I've seen him get hit, and if he doesn't have the power. But that was a one punch knockout, which is good. So just more, he's got to try to do more of the same. I don't expect his next fight to be against him. He'll probably get another knockover job, maybe a little bit of a step up. But then the third fight, you've got to start fighting at least like a Dan Aziz or a Spider
Mm.
Richards, someone with a bit of a name, and a Brit as well, hopefully, just so that he can. Yeah, you got to start moving up now. Like you've had too many of these.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I mean, look, look, it's show business at the end of the day. It's what we love the Eubanks for example. We love that bit of, cockiness. I think for him, his downfall is, I don't know, maybe doing it a bit too early because from the beginning of his career, he's going to be compared to Nassim Hamed and he's got to live up to that now. And as you said, once you chuck it in when the chips are down, people are going to look at you and think, well, you just got to be who you are. Look, I'm all for it, man. Look, I think it sells the fight, doesn't it? We're talking about it.
And and I think it's like we said. I think it was you I was talking to when we said you need bad guys in boxing as well. You need people that tune in
Yeah,
and
100%.
if that's going to make him the most money, then keep doing it. Keep being cocky. Keep being arrogant. But you have to expect people to turn on you a bit if you're not delivering it.
Look, if every match was, yeah, look, I really respect my opponent. I hope he's good. He's gonna, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
He's gonna tune in.
Exactly.
You need a bit of trash talk. You need a bit of cockiness. You need a bit of flashiness. As long as it's done in the right way, and you're not an idiot about it. But yeah, look, I hope he makes a step up now, gets a few more fights in Matchroom, and then get them big money
Yeah,
ones.
that's it. And the other big fight, well, I thought it was a really, really good fight actually. Jamie TKV and Fraser Clarke.
Mm,
Really
mm,
entertaining fight. A good fight for BBC's and boxers for their
yeah,
first new fight on their new venture. What did you think of the fight? Was it the right decision?
yeah. Look, I can't really see where Clark goes from here. There could be an argument when Fabio Wally took his jaw off that, as he recovered from that. Good fight. I just he takes too many big hits. There's a lot of time I'm watching it. I'm thinking, mate, come on, man, like move your head, do something. Yeah, he takes way too many hits for me. I think maybe time call it a day, become a pundit or something. I don't know how many more kind of beatings you can take.
You disappeared there.
Sorry.
That's right. Yeah, I thought I don't know if he's got a gas tank either because he started really well. I don't know if he just went in
Mm,
there with the idea of because he was a hometown fighter as well. That I want to put on a show. I want to try and take TKV out early. So I thought first round he
mm,
really stuck it on him. It was obviously the fight was fought on the inside. He's throwing them uppercuts in a lot of good body
yeah, yeah,
shots. The whole fight was fought on the inside, wasn't it? Really. And I think he thought he was going to take TKV out. And as the fight went on, TKV was just getting himself into, and you could see Fraser fading. His fitness wasn't there. Did he
Yeah,
put too much into the early rounds, or is it just like an issue with him with his fitness? I don't know. That 11th round, he was very, very lucky not to get called off because he was taking some big, big shots, man. And his
yeah,
cornerman even
yeah,
said to him, "Look, if he comes out and sticks it on you, I'm throwing the towel in straight away for the
yeah,
12th."
yeah.
He did well to get through it. Hope he's all right because I know Jamie TKV was on Talksport today and he said that he knows Fraser got taken to hospital and had like some serious checkups and stuff. So yeah, I don't know where it goes, man. If you're losing, that's two British fighters you've lost to now. Two shots at the British title you've lost. What's there for him? I don't know.
I
He
just
wants
think
to
at
move
his
on. Does
stage
he
in the
want?
career, I mean, look, we all want more fights and we want people to fight us for as long as possible. But mate, this is a dangerous
Yeah,
sport, man.
yeah.
Your Nick Blackwells of this world, you know what I mean? People kind of forget this when, everyone's hyped up for boxing and stuff. These people are real. Their stories are real. And I look at it and I just think, how many more beatings do you want to take? And I'm never that guy, look, I always want fighters to fight for as long as they can. But you got to look at it and think, where does he
I
go?
just think
Is it
he's got
worth,
to ask himself
you know what I
what
mean?
he wants to achieve in the game.
Yeah,
If if he had designs on world titles and stuff, then I think someone's got to be honest with him and say, mate, it's probably not going to happen. I mean, he's had a great amateur career, got a bronze medal.
yeah.
Hasn't really happened to him, and he's not young either. So it's like, does he want another shot at the British title? Maybe, and it would be an achievement to win it, obviously. But I don't know. Maybe he just needs to have a serious conversation with the man in the mirror, really, and decide. Only he can make that decision. It's not for us to say. But yeah, I like him as well. He's a good character. And I think sometimes,
No, no,
sometimes
so,
he
yeah.
strikes with maybe being a bit too nice.
Again, we spoke about winning characters in the fight game. As you said, he's a really nice lad. He
Yeah,
comes across really well.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see with him. But Jamie TKV, very impressive, man. I said his last fight against David Adelaide, I expected him to get beat. He did get beat, but very controversially, and he was winning the rounds up
Mm,
until he did get beat. So, and this is another one where he's the underdog and he's come out and he's put the performance in. He's British champion now, and he's going to have to start eyeing up the bigger fights. He said, as I said, he was on Talksport earlier today, and he said he might have he fancies one more domestic fight, maybe against Dave Allen, which is a winnable fight.
I was just you took the words out of my mouth. Dave Allen would be a very
Yeah,
good fight.
it's a winnable fight. I love Dave Allen. I think everyone does, and on his day he can turn it on.
Good guy.
But the way I've seen Jamie TKV in his last few fights, I probably fancy him to beat Dave Allen. So that would be another and a big British name. I know he's not the best fighter, but a
Yeah,
big British name on his record. And then he said, yeah, after that he probably wants to move on to European and try to work his way up to world. But yeah, he's got a good future in the game, man. I've been very impressed with him both times I've seen him. So yeah, fair play to him, man.
yeah. As you said, yeah. Let's see what we can do, man.
All right, yeah, that's it. There weren't nothing more boxing wise to cover now.
Not really.
Undercards
No.
weren't great. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't watch undercard. I'm not
No,
gonna
I mean, yeah,
lie.
there was
Just
nothing much going on there to be fair.
counting down the days until AJ Jake Paul get it on,
Coming up
man.
quick,
But
man.
I'm
Coming
not
up
even gonna
quick.
get into that. No,
Coming
man.
up quick.
It's
But
just
we'll cover that properly on fight week. We've
yeah,
also got the World Cup draw coming up at the end of this week, so we'll probably do something on that. But
yeah,
yeah,
100%, man.
midweek games this week as well, which we'll cover. So yeah, everyone stay
Yeah.
tuned. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. We love you loads. Thank you very much. Goodbye.